guys, I'm Tim.
I'm Bob.
I'm Spencer.
And this is the Board Game Rundown. Today, we are super excited to review Clank Catacombs from Direwolf Games. This plays 2 to 4 players, 45 to 90 minutes, right?
Yeah.
Depending on, a player experience, and probably player count a little bit, and then also a little bit of...
It could take a little bit longer if people aren't going after the artifacts and they just want to keep exploring.
Oh, right. Bob?
Or shorter if one person just, finishes it real quick and gets out.
Yeah. Well, one of the key differences actually between the original Clanks and this one, there's not really a timer where the game just ends. You're just going to keep going until you're either out or you're dead.
Well, the other game is the same way.
No. In the other game, there's only like 5 turns and then you're done.
And that's it? It kills you at the end. Okay, yeah, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
Never takes that long.
Usually doesn't. Yeah.
Usually somebody's already dead, but also the main difference between this and regular Clank is that this is your drafting tiles. You're drawing these, not drafting. You're drawing tiles, and then you're gonna have to line them up so your paths all work out. Another interesting thing about this, just industry-wise, because I'm a bit of an industry geek and enjoy learning things about it. The original Clank was a team-up between Direwolf and Renegade Games, and they parted amicably. They parted on good terms, but Direwolf decided that they were going to basically launch their own game company, by themselves. And so Clank Catacombs is the their first venture out there. And but again, I mean, they worked really well together. Direwolf was more of like an app. I think they made apps and video games and, and things like that. Okay. And so when they had this, you go to a board game company, that help you get your game made.
Right.
And what was really cool is that I think Clank really helped Renegade get on the map. And then it also really helped Direwolf get on the map.
Right.
So like we were saying, this is a deck building game and but with a board. So you're going to be playing cards from your hand and you're going to gain combat. You're going to gain like purchase power.
Skill, I think it's called.
Movement. And then you're going to gain movement, right? And the movement's going to let you move through. When you go to move off of a tile, you need to select what path you're taking. And then basically you're going to draw a tile off the stack. You're going to reveal it and then you're going to line it up appropriately and then finish your move. The really crazy thing is there's one big starting tile right here, and you are basically, it's really hard to just come right back. Like once you start going out, right? Because there are lines with the arrows at the end, right? So that means it's basically one way, unless you have something that allows you to
ignore those.
Yeah. So as you're going through, you're going to be playing cards that are going to add Clank, and then when you add Clank, you're going to take the cubes of your color, you're going to pop them up there on the Clank board up there, and then when their dragon attacks, you take all the cubes on there, you throw it in the bag, you draw out X amount, 2 to 5, depending on where you're at.
2 to 6.
But it could be 6 because of if there are cards in the lineup that might add extra.
Increase the threat.
Yeah, extra threat, and make that dragon even angrier. So yeah, and then if your cube gets drawn, you take damage. You've got so much health, if you can at least get to the purple here, you're like above ground.
Above ground, yep.
And so you can still score your points. If you die underground, you get no points. If you get out, you get an extra 20 points.
Mastery token.
And yeah, so you're going through, and you have to have an artifact, right?
You have to have at least one artifact to score at all.
Right. Right. The rule book is really great. So if you're familiar already with Clank and you've played Clank or Clank in Space, the rule book highlights what's different.
Yep.
There's not a lot different. There's enough different.
There's enough difference, yeah.
To make this very, very interesting, but not so much different that you felt like you had to learn a whole new game.
Right.
It's almost like playing with a module, you know what I mean, or something.
Yeah, sort of. It's like, okay, here's your base game. We're just going to take the board away and give you this stack of tiles. Now play.
Right.
Yeah. If you don't have Clank, don't feel like you need to go get Clank. Go get Clank Catacombs. It'll be fun.
I would say go get Clank because it's amazing.
That's true. But you don't have to.
Correct.
Want to play this one.
No, Spencer, they must get Clank. But no, you're correct.
Yeah, no. So there's a few subtle differences. So besides the obvious tile laying aspect, they do add, instead of doing like a master key where you can use it to keep over and over again to get through lock spaces, they introduce these little lock picks.
Oh, these are great.
Which are super cool. So now when you pick a lock that's on a tunnel, you cover up that symbol, and now that door is open. You have picked that lock. Anybody can go through
Anybody can go through there.
There's also locations that have prisoners, so you can put a lock pick on that space to rescue a couple of the prisoners. They're these little 5-sided tokens here, and each one of them have a different.
And you'll see it because it's like a little jail door in a almost like a little bubble off to the.
Well,
just
it's shaped
to
the same shape
yes.
as the lockpick thing.
Yep. And they have the chests too.
Yep, they have the chests, which give you the big secrets, and then they have the book icons, which grant you a free secret tome, which is victory points at the end.
7 points.
Yep. Then they also have these tiles that are haunted. Every time you play a haunted tile, you're going to add a white cube to the Clank area. And then when that gets put in the bag and pulled out, that's 1 damage to everybody, and it goes back into the Clank area, so it sticks around. Those are the major differences. One of the other differences, too, is the small secrets that are on there. Usually, like on the board, you would populate that board, and they are what they are. You get 2 of them on there, and that's done. These, it's just whenever you enter that space, you get to draw one from the pool. You can't do the same one twice in a turn, but you can come back later on and get it again.
Right, and I think that takes away a fiddly thing from original Clank, right? Where you have to seed the board, right? Like, no, it's not. You don't have to build everything and put it all together, right? When you come to a tile that's got one of the artifacts there, you just pop down the artifact.
Because they're in numerical order. So if it's got no icon on it, you put the top one. If it's got a little plus symbol on there, you're just going to dig down further in the pile and then put that one on there. The other cool thing they add, too, are these portals. And those portals pop up randomly on the different tiles. And so as you're moving down a hallway to a portal, you'll pick any other portal to come out of and continue your move to go. And that was a really neat thing they added. And the way shrines also. Another addition. So as you enter a way shrine, you get to put a cube on there, and then you're going to gain 1 gold for every cube you've got out on way shrine. So your first one's worth 1, second one's worth 2, next one's worth 3, and so on.
There's a ton of them.
And and there's some cool like interactory things that you can do with those too, which we don't want to spoil too much of it because it's kind of neat. Like, different things kind of pop up, like when monsters arrive, or when certain tokens you pull will give you different things to do, and interact with.
Yeah, there were a lot of really neat surprises in this.
I'm glad I didn't tell you guys about those.
And but that's basically how the game's played. I mean, you're spending your purchasing your skill to buy more cards. They go to your discard pile. When your draw deck runs out, you shuffle, draw 5 more cards. That could trigger dragon attacks, so on and so forth, because when you refill the lineup, they might have that icon on there. There's a standard pool of cards that you can always buy. There's a goblin you can always fight for 2. I mean, so without going all into the nitty-gritty, that's basically the gameplay overview. So let's go into components. So components, this is, if you already like the Clank art, this is just more of that. It's the same art for the Tome, the Explorers, Mercenaries, and things like that, and the Burgles, and like all the base stuff has the same art. And then all the new cards, right, the cards unique to this, all have that same art style, but it's all new.
Companions, it's the same types of coloring, the same shadowing and things like that, but it is different art.
But I already like that art style. I like the jokey flavor text stuff.
Oh, it's hilarious.
The goofy characters.
Yeah, the cat.
So there's all kinds of really cool stuff. So if you like the art for Clank, you're good.
You're good.
Or the same. Iconography is amazing.
Super straightforward.
Original Clank in Space, iconography, once you know, and they give you really great player aids, fantastic. You're good to go. Not, they
only give you the one, but it's all you really need.
It is all you need. Not everybody needs one. It would be overkill, I think, to give everybody
I agree.
Their own.
The rule book, while the size is ugly, it was done really well. Like I said, we had the little icon in there at the beginning that you read. It says if you play the original Clank, just look for this icon. And so as you flip through the book, most of it you can just kind of ignore. Wherever you see that little box, you read it, and it says, okay, this is what's different. Or it'll be like, oh, hey, this page is all new stuff, so make sure you read this whole page. And it was laid out super convenient. I liked it.
Yeah, and again, right, the cubes are standard, just like original Clank. Your player marker is standard, just like original Clank. They add these little lockpick guys, which I think are great.
It's a new token.
But the prisoner tokens are fine. They're good. I don't have anything bad to say about any of the components. They give you another unique dragon shape. One of the fun things with all the different versions of Clank, right, is you always get like a meeple, a new dragon, a mummy, whatever. But you get the new bag, with the teal dragon on there.
Now, to me, Tim, I know you have your phone in the back of there, but pick up that box lid. Does it feel cheap to you? To me, it just felt like a little maybe thin.
It doesn't feel as good.
It's not as sturdy.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
Yeah, and the tiles are not like a super thick tile, but they're not warped at all.
but I'm not worried about it.
But like like you get like maybe I'm just used to like the Eagle Griffin games, right?
Oh,
right.
It's like these are like 5 millimeter thick tiles,
You're like maybe they're hiding something in the
build a
box.
ship out of these.
I could see that like these tiles might start to show some wear after a while, and the only bad thing about that is that this is a game that I know my family will play, right? You know what I mean? And like I will get played a lot, like whether it's at meetups or like family get-togethers and things, because my family already likes Clank.
Right.
So it's be like, oh, hey, let's play Clank, but just like a little different, you know,
I don't
because
think it would wear that much. I mean, tiles.
well, I guess if you're shuffling them though,
right?
I suppose
to get the different draws.
The tiles.
I would definitely recommend sleeving the cards. I mean, like unless you're like a very like don't play that often, but if you think like if you play a lot of Clank and enjoy it, I would definitely sleeve it.
I
because
sleeve my original Clank
so did I,
yeah.
and I did with my the legacy version. So I might just take some of the sleeves off of that and maybe transfer them over. But like you will be shuffling and handling those starter cards a lot. And they will show the wear before the rest of the cards will.
Yeah, that is true. Yep. That is true. So I mean, I guess maybe a little nitpicky, but I do wish maybe these were like a little chunkier.
A little chunkier.
You know, I do agree. Now that you say something about the box, like and maybe they're just trying to keep costs down.
Sure,
I don't know.
That could be too. I mean, like, and as long as you are, take care of your stuff, you don't transport it a lot. I'm sure it's going to end up being fine.
Right.
But like, it does just seem like, it looks like they got their lesson from Fantasy Flight on how to make an insert.
Yeah.
Well, it has these interesting. I don't know if that's meant to do something. These little cuts there.
Oh, you can stand them up, so when you put your cards in there, it
that's what I figured. So it's a little tiny bit better than just two trenches.
Mentioning sleeves, I just took some of my old Dragon Shield sleeve boxes and put them right in there.
That's what I would do.
Yep.
That's what I would do. The insert you can throw away.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, for the most part, components are really good, solid, on point.
Just standard gold coins.
Yeah, I always use metal coins when I play.
I have a set on the table I use.
It would increase the cost if you actually included them. I think it's fine with these.
Yeah, it's fine.
Totally fine.
It's totally fine.
I'm just a nerd.
They're standard. Yeah, I love my fancy bits.
And I, Bob and I both have extra sets of metal coins.
Yeah, I keep on my gaming table, so when somebody pulls out their game with like cardboard chits, I'm like, no.
Yeah, that's cute.
Yeah,
let's do this.
Yeah.
All right. Oh,
I really like when you're going around the map and you think it's really straightforward. I'm over here and I'm trying to get this artifact, and as the map is revealing itself, I'm like, I am nowhere near this artifact.
Right.
That's when I was trying to get out. I was trying to get out. I could not get the one to go the right direction.
They did a really good job of making this twisty. Map.
It's not just straightforward to this way, to that way.
And it's really well designed because every tile that you play is going to be able to is going to line up.
It has 2 in, 2 out on all sides, and so it will line up. But then what they do after that is they squiggle all over the place.
Oh, they go all over the place. They bypass things. Sometimes they loop
each other
right back around,
which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Here we have a loop. There's the only way to get into that is to teleport from here. That's it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that is true. Nice.
It's crazy.
Love it. I love it. And I just think that, and I'm going to get into it in the thoughts, but this is really well designed.
Yep.
Why don't we go into final thoughts then?
Okay.
Bobby.
Yeah.
What's your final thoughts on Clank Catacombs?
So I have played. The only one I haven't played is Clank in Space. I know Mike goes on about Clank in Space. I haven't tried it yet. I will try it. To me, it seemed weird because I'm always like fantasy stuff, right? I'm like, it's the Catacombs, it's the underwater, and it's like the legacy version, and it's all very like elves and dwarves and fighters and wizards and stuff like that. And then you're like in space.
Yes.
And it's like, okay, that's kind of weird, but sure, I'm willing to give it a shot, but. I think Legacy is still my favorite just because of the storyline and the adding everything. It's almost like you're building like with the tiles and whatnot. But as far as like replayability and everything, like this one I'm going to get a lot more replayability than I will the Legacy version, right? So I think that this one might end up supplanting that as my favorite. I have more fun playing through the Legacy, but when it comes to replayability, it's like I'm re-putting all those stickers on again, right? And changing in my decisions and things like that.
Yeah, your board is changing.
My board is constantly changing, which I really like. Because that's the thing, too, is with the original Clanks is it felt like people would come in if they play before they have their strat, right? They're like, all right, I'm going down there, I'm grabbing that artifact, I'm going to come back around this way, and that's what I'm going to do like every time. And it's just boring. But this, like I said, it's so unique, And then like twice now I've gotten this artifact or this major secret that lets me ignore the arrow one ways. Like not that it's helped me win either one of the games, but I just think it's super cool that that you could do that.
He
like,
was so close.
I was literally one step away.
The best part is all it did was it actually doomed you because it made you
spent more time.
It made you too cocky because you're like,
yeah.
I'm
fine. I can just go back that arrow. It's okay, no problem.
No,
I was like, what? You guys are about to exit already?
I'm getting out of Dodge.
Yeah. I turned around and they were both like a space away from the exit. I'm like, wait, what are you guys both doing up there? And I'm like way down in the deep.
I even took an extra like 2 turns to get a couple more points.
Yep.
Because I knew I could withstand it.
Yeah. But no, I'm a huge fan of the lock picks that they put out there. Those are super neat. They have these like wine skins kind of. So if you're from the shop, you can buy, if you have at least 5 damage on you, you can spend your money to buy a wine skin that's full of healing potion to drink to heal you. They've got a lot more cards that do heals and stuff right now. Like twice I've been able to get this bard character who, as you play Clank, if you've played at least 2 Clank, she heals you for 2. And man, that was super, not extremely helpful apparently, but it does make me want to push my luck more. I'm like, oh, I'm fine. I'm like, I got like 2 health. I can just keep going and keep curing myself. It doesn't matter if they keep pulling my cubes out. It matters they keep pulling your cubes out because they do end up adding up.
You have to remember the marketplace because that can be really helpful.
Yeah. But no, I think this is a fantastic version of this game. I'm really glad I got it right away because I've had it less than a week and I've gotten to play twice already.
Yeah,
that does not happen that often.
That ain't bad.
Other than the size of the rule book, I think it was done really well. But yeah, like this, if you like Clank, you will love this. If you've never played Clank, but you like deck builders, I think you will thoroughly enjoy this.
Yeah.
Super straightforward, easily accessible to people. It's a great.
It's really good. It is really good. Spencer.
Yeah, I've played Clank in Space, and I've played Clank, and that's it. So.
And Clank Catacombs now.
Oh, that Clank Catacombs, yeah. And it was too long ago that I have played the other 2 for me to really compare them accurately. I did very much enjoy Clank in Space, but I enjoyed this one as well. I really like the randomness of it, the crazy scrambling to get something at the end, and also the way you're going through with having to have enough fight to get through certain areas, and you're not certain if it's going to have another fight come up. Because as I'm leaving this one, and I don't know what that tile is, it could be a fight. It could loop into another one that has 2 fight, and I could be like taking a ton of damage just trying to get somewhere. And yeah, that randomness. Some people will hate it, but I kind of liked it.
The kind of tension of like, oh no, there's no way to flip this tile where I don't either go into an ice cavern or a monster.
Yeah, and you're buying things from the market. But you're like, but if I buy something from the market, we might have to draw a dragon attack.
Yeah.
Maybe I want to buy one of those explorers.
Yeah, every time at the end of the last game when I'm like, yes, Bob, buy as many cards. Buy as many dungeon cards as you can, please.
I did too.
Yeah, there was enough randomness and enough skill that I thought it was great. I liked it.
Yeah, so I'm a big fan of Clank. Clank, I love deck builders, and Clank was one of the first deck builders I played that it integrated the board with it.
Right.
I agree with you with original Clank, which I love massively. But the original board, it's set. It's seated a little different. It's seated differently depending on what like minor secrets and major secrets that you can get. But for the most part, all the artifacts show up in the same spot.
Yep. The locks are in the same spot.
The locks are in the same spot. All the crystal caves are all in the same spot. All that good stuff. Yep. Everything's all the same. Yep. I still play the ton out of For sure. Just play that game so much and still had a great time. This game like improved on everything. The tiles, the drawing of the tiles, and just sort of like watching how they work, right? And adding the haunted tiles, and then and then the other things that come up and can happen, which can change the layout potentially of the map and stuff, was incredible and a great experience. Again, all it did was it was like adding a module to one of my favorite games, and all it did was improve that game immensely. Because one of the things people like about Clank in Space is it's a modular board, so you can build that board so you can have a little bit of a different layout depending, when you play and everything. And I get the appeal of it. I think I always drifted more towards regular Clank. I don't know. I think for you, my brain, I played original Clank first, and my brain always thinks that it should be fantasy.
Yes.
And, so playing Clank in Space, it's really good, and it's a great game. Like, not taking anything away from it, but my brain always wants to just go back to regular Clank.
Right.
Despite that.
Is there a dragon in Space?
No, it's like a big like Darth Vader kind of guy.
Okay.
Yeah,
dragons are cooler.
So because you're like breaking onto his not Star Destroyer, but
okay, yeah.
And stealing all of his stuff.
Sure.
Of there.
Don't sue us.
Right.
But I said not Star Destroyer. But yeah, this just does like all of that to the nth degree, but like not too much, right? Like
doesn't overly complicate it. Doesn't make it overly fiddly.
No, and it really didn't.
It kind of reduces the fiddliness
a little bit.
Yeah.
I think the only fiddliness is then just somebody going doing it this way or this way, and that's fine.
Yeah,
minimal. And it really only gets
choices.
It really only gets intense or like people agonize over those decisions. I see more at the end of the game, than at the beginning. At the beginning, it's kind of like, oh, cool, let's see what this does. But the way, I'm just looking at like the paths, like the path we have created, if you are at this tile, the way this is laid out, if you go from here, you go over here from there. You don't even stop in this tile, which is crazy. It's so much fun, like how that goes, same thing out of here, right?
If this was changed and this was over here,
oh my goodness.
you would go from this room all the way down to there
and you have to do 2 damage.
Or
2 fights. Yeah. But
that's so cool.
Yeah,
but what a great,
it's awesome.
What a great concept. I was excited about it. It was Clank. It's kind of like a blind buy at that point until they burned me. You know what I mean? Like Direwolf and Renegade have done really well with this. And Direwolf, man, for your first outing all by yourself, I know you're building on an IP and a rules structure that you've already made. But fantastic job. This game is great. I thought I had like my top 5 games of the year locked in, and now like all of a sudden, this big boy shows up, and it's gonna be tough.
And you know what might think I'd be a good moneymaker for Clank is to offer some coins that look like your coins.
Oh, right,
like an aftermarket type of thing.
Yeah. Now here's the other thing: is the expansions for this game can be tile and card packs.
Yeah, it does have a thing in the book. I didn't read it too much. Yes, extra tiles. That's a good idea. But they did talk about using different deck sets and stuff like that. So it is still technically, I would say, interchangeable or like combining them and everything like that. But you run into that ascension problem though, where some of these cards are kind of meant to deal with the tiles and everything.
Oh, right.
You might then not draw any of those cool abilities that affect the ones you're trying to use.
Right.
Yeah. So like oversaturate the marketplace, as it were.
Right.
But
yeah. I would try it anyways.
Yeah, it's worth a shot.
Play enough Clank, right?
Right.
I was like, okay, let's just try this one this time.
Yeah, and then I also think that I'm pretty sure the Adventuring Party, which is the 5 to 6 player expansion pack for Clank, is also basically compatible with this. They do have a few short rule changes in the beginning that says if you want to play with this, then these couple of things change a little bit. But it is compatible.
But yeah, right on.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Right on. All right, guys, are we ready to give this bad boy a rating?
Yeah.
I think so.
Bobby.
Yeah.
What do you rate Clank Catacombs? Hold on, Spencer. Yeah. First of all, what do we do when we rate a game here at the Board Game Rundown?
Yes, when we're rating a game at the Board Game Rundown, we will give it a ranking 1 to 10, and we do the 0.5s. We will average them all together, and that's the score we put up on BGG, so that everyone has one score for the Board Game Rundown and not 3 or 4.
Well done, sir.
Well said. It's back to me.
Yeah, back to you, sir.
Okay. Man, been thinking about it a lot.
I know you lost, so that's probably like
I've lost twice.
Oh, that's
I've taught. I'm gonna have like the Teacher of the Year award. I know, because I have taught twice now and I've lost both games. But I've had fun both times, even though I haven't won. Man, I was so close. I was literally one step away, and I couldn't get there.
You're just reaching for it.
I fell. All my loot just fell out of my bag, and you're like, ooh, look. I think I'm gonna give it a 9.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I love the Clank games. This is one of the best versions of it that I've played. Like, I really enjoyed this. It's a 9 for me.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so good. It's so good. Spencer.
I'm going to give it an 8.5.
8.5.
Yeah.
Well done.
I
well done.
liked it. I want to play it again. It might change as I play it more.
Yeah. Well, Bob was correct to give it the correct score because I also give it a 9. But no, I will say, though, 8.5, right? 8.5, and you've played basically Clank twice before this. I mean, two different versions. Yeah. And this made enough of an impression to still rate very highly.
Oh yeah.
It's
I think that's so accessible, and that I can teach so many people, and it's it'll appeal to like a wide range of people.
My daughter could play this easy.
Yeah.
One of the guys, one of my Magic buddies last night that we were playing with, had never played any game like this before. He's played the End of the Echo side, loved it, went out and bought it and everything like that. That was sort of like, hey, it's a lot like that. It's a basic deck builder, but we're adding a board. He's like, this is super cool, and I was like,
you're like, yeah, dude.
Yeah. Stick with me, bud. I got you.
I can show you
a gateway game.
Right. So if we took all of our scores and we averaged them together, 8.8.
Yeah,
That's pretty good. It's
Yeah.
a solid recommend.
This is a very solid recommend. I think. Yeah,
I feel the other guys were here too. They would feel the same way. They haven't played it yet, but like having played a lot of games with them, like I don't think this is going to do anything. They're going to be like, oh, nope, I'm not playing that one.
I think Dan likes Clank, and I think Mike's played Clank once. Maybe?
Mike loves Clank.
Oh wait, Clank in Space.
He owns
but
Clank
only
in
Clank in
Space.
Space.
Yeah,
he hasn't
played
played
ones are
original
okay. No, I think did he play once?
I don't know. I remember.
Anyways,
I played Clank
I know
in
he
Space
loves
with
Clank
him.
in Space.
Yeah.
But I think Mike would like the tiles.
I do too.
I think
Oh,
he
yeah.
would like
I do
that
too.
quite a bit.
Yeah.
And Andrew is a wild card, so who knows?
Who knows? Yeah.
Who knows? He might mistake this for euchre or
I was gonna say
Candyland.
something about you too. Yeah, no. Oh,
hate
just
it.
shoots and ladders.
Yeah.
I could just see Dan making one of them like, nope, hit it.
Yeah. Well, Dan doesn't like fun games usually.
This is true.
So
So
he might like this one.
He might.
But yeah, this is such a strong recommend.
Yeah,
this is
it's
so
good.
dang good.
If you like this kind of stuff, go get it.
Yeah,
worth
yeah.
it.
Absolutely.
And
Reasonably priced.
right. Yeah, reasonably priced. A few little
I think it
nitpicks.
retailed for 50 something. Just
Sure.
yeah.
Says it's ages 13 up, but I think you go down 10, no problem.
I think so.
Probably. Especially if you played some games with them before. If they've done deck builders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if they can play, you probably play ICP with your daughter all the time.
All the
right?
time.
I don't have ICP.
They sit at home with their, they do their makeup.
Yeah.
And then they.
Hey, daddy-daughter time.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. Whoop whoop. Sorry.
Little ICP tea party.
Little Fago. Wrong video.
You guys are working.
Anyway.
That's gone off the rails.
Anyways, guys, thank you as always for watching and for the board game rundown. I've been Tim,
That was Bob.
I'm Spencer.
and this was Clank Catacombs. We'll see you next time.